If you've looked on the internet at all recently, or you looked on the television at all recently, it's unfortunate, but if you did, or if you even talked to any other person, imagine that, but it does go on, you will notice that there's something going on in the world and now in this country. It is the American version of the Arab Spring. It is called Occupy Wall Street right now, but it is soon to be called Occupy America and or Occupy the dirty, rotten, bastard criminals that have put us in this situation, i.e. the Federal Reserve, Bank of America, and you're already seeing articles come out that people have actually held hostage the Bank of America and shut it down. And Bank of America's website was down from the 1st of October to the 3rd. So I haven't checked it recently in the past 2 days. I don't know if they got it back up again, but I don't really care. Screw them. I hope they go under because they think that they're the biggest bank out there. And they say that the reason behind that is because they have all this liquidity. Well, all that liquidity is toxic assets that are actual uh, tools of financial terrorism. These over-the-counter derivatives, right? These OTC derivatives. Look that up because I want to just have a quick follow-up on my last upload because I didn't really follow up with the fact that yes, the central bank, which its private shareholders are the six big mega banks in this country. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, and shoot. Um, well, the Bank of England really is, overarching over all of these, but it's not the one I was trying to think of. But anyway, it will come to me. But yeah, these people that directly control by having sole shareholder ownership of, or essentially sole shareholder ownership of the central bank, the private company that these six mega banks have control of. You just look all this up for yourself. Called the Federal Reserve when there's nothing federal about it at all. It's as federal as Federal Express or um, Federal Shoe Shiners. If my name was Federal Josh Schaefer, doesn't mean necessarily that I am a branch of the federal government. You know, these people are crooks. They are dupers in the lowest sense of the phrase. Um, they love to steal and kill and destroy, and they love to send little minions and have the little minions have little compartmentalized fools that just swarm and just come after everything. And that's what's happening right now. But anyway, yeah, they steal this 17 trillion from you and I, from the American taxpayer. And all these congressmen are asking them where to go, and they said, I don't know, or I won't tell you, or uh, no, no, I'm not going to tell you. They said that to Bernie Sanders, no. And then this company said to Alan Grayson, Bernie Sanders an independent, Alan Grayson a Democrat, so this is not the Republicans leading this charge. It's just the Republicans that first co-opted the Tea Party. That's the only thing that happened there. Anyway, yeah, they then take that 17 trillion, getting so off topic, that's why I just love just making these YouTube uploads and just ranting my full head off. Because they take that 17 trillion and they leverage it hundreds of times, and they create what's called toxic derivatives, and through credit default swaps and many other so-called swaps, where all they do is get together and laugh about how they create so many different ways to destroy the value of your money and to take your money from you and trade it amongst themselves and leverage it out and make more money out of it. It's all fake, imaginary fraud. It's disgusting. It's downright gut wrenching, sickening. But anyway, so even the Washington Post, you can look this up. Washington Post reports that there is at least 1.5 quadrillion, that's 1,500 sets of trillions of dollars in toxic derivatives, and they want you and I and Greece and Portugal and Ireland and Spain and Italy and Germany to pay for it all when we don't owe these people anything. You know? They're the ones that leveraged it in the first place. They wouldn't have even had it if they wouldn't have stolen it from us. So we need to see these bankers in prison. But right now there's a grassroots movement that's going on. It's called Occupy Wall Street, but it's soon going to get co-opted by, or well, it was set up to be run by George Soros. But of course, I mean, they created a monster they can't control, but they just had to do it. They are desperate right now to keep control of the people. They can't have a populist, excuse me, popular uprising, a populist movement, a silent but the majority peacefully moving to take all their money out of all their banks, to stop using the fractional reserve system, to start using hard money, sound money, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, even copper, instead of their paper with ink on it. They can't have that happening. But anyway, so you've got this movement afoot, and Alex Jones is trying to morph it into the Federal Reserve occupation, which I think is a great idea, and I want to go to the Pittsburgh branch of the Cleveland, I guess one of their 12 main branches is Cleveland, and they have a sister holdings company branch in Pittsburgh, and I want to go there and occupy it and tell them that they're not coming out unless they got their hands up and they're ready to have cuffs on those wrists. Okay, because if we do that in Pittsburgh, or if Alex sets a group up, Alex Jones in Dallas, where he's going now, or he's also going to Houston and San Antonio right after that, and sets groups up there to hold it hostage, to besiege it until the criminals have to come out for want of hunger and for want of food and water, or just to see the sunshine, then we're gonna nab them. And if we did that at just one of them, they would run scared. They would flee this country, flee it. They would go back to London where they came from, and then they would flee London, because then they would do it there. They would raid the banks there, and then they would go back to Bavaria where they came from. So I don't want that on the German people, but I'm just saying they've already gone through enough hell, more hell than even the Americans have gone through. But all I'm saying is, if you watch TV right now, or if you listen to anything or read anything on the internet right now, if you want to stay informed, you're seeing that the right, which is epitomized by this propaganda called Fox News, is saying that these people are leftist, communist, hippies, and such, and they want to have this authoritarian, socialist, communist government. And then if you look at the left is saying, no, these are all let's kill capitalism now, communists. But you look at who they're fighting against, and they're fighting against a Hitlerian agenda, a fascist agenda, when really it's the Fox News is saying it's the communists, and so they're getting the rich to think, oh, it's communism, and we gotta try to clamp down on it. And then the left is thinking, oh, it's corporate fascism, and they're like, we gotta try to clamp down on it. And the middle class is right here, and here it comes, the pincer attack. They always do this classic tyranny right now, moving in on us. But and then they'll roll out the police state because everyone's in the streets, and those that aren't in the streets are having their homes burned down. But what we need to do is start going to these movements. All we can do is educate these people. Okay, bring them the law, by Frederick Bastiat. Bring them. I got a stack of these. It's like probably it's still 2 feet high. I just need to hand out in my community here and print more up and go to Pittsburgh and hand them out at that Occupy event there and at the Occupy Federal Reserve building there. But anyway, Hannah Mountain, Cleveland is a David Icke event, whatever. But um, go to these events and educate these masses, please. That is the one thing you can do to influence history. Even though most of us do feel, if we believe in a divine, that things have already been decided and that what is in the future is happening now. Tomorrow is going to end. That's the whole thing. So you really can't control anything, but you can you can be a part of this. And I just think that is one of the greatest things that you can experience in this earthly tent. To be a part of this magical, mysterious, to us still mysterious thing that we call life or events, that's happening that we can experience. And it's all just an experience. So take part in it and have the most fun you can with it and be as safe as you can, of course. And, don't get arrested. Give them no reason to arrest you. And always have a video camera or a camera at least on hand so that when they go to arrest you, say, wait 1 second. I'm going to take a picture of your badge number and I'm going to get you saying your name to me, and I want you to state your name to me because you work for me. I fund you. So, the real people you should be going after is the people inside the JP Morgan Bank, inside the Bank of America Bank, inside Wells Fargo, who admittedly on record laundered $376 billion and only paid 112 million. I mean, billion with a B. $376 billion of drug money laundered, and they only paid 112 million in fines. This is the justice system that we have right now. That's why we need to take matters into our own hands, and that's what's happening right now. So you need to jump on board. There is no time to waste. If you don't jump on board, I got one last thing to say. If you don't want to go there, if you don't want to educate, if you don't want to be a part of this and experience this, and you're going to lay back, the only other thing that you can do besides educate is be ready. Okay, that's the only other thing that you can do. And it's like my grandparents, 2 weeks ago were saying, "Oh, Josh, just you've got to just turn all of your guns in right now. You have illegal guns? Oh, you need to turn them in right now." My YouTube name is Hemp Grow Pro, and of course I'm going to show you guys eventually how to grow hemp because I think it is the best thing that's ever happened in this country is industrial hemp. And Ron Paul has had a couple different times where he and Bernie Sanders, the extreme right and extreme left, supposedly, getting together and saying, at least, we can agree that the people of this country need to grow some hemp. Okay, and it doesn't even matter, if it's pot or hemp. People need to be able to make their own decisions and take their own responsibility and suffer their own consequences from their own bad decisions. People need to get away from other people if they don't agree with what's happening, if they don't agree with what they're doing. They need to step away and say, wait a minute, this isn't hurting me at all. I'm not being hurt by this at all. My ego is being attacked. I'm being forced to the perimeter or maybe even outside of my hassle-free zone that I want to stay in all my life. But I'm not actually being harmed whatsoever. It's just my ego that's being harmed. And so, whenever people start doing that, I really think, that's when the Renaissance has hit. And it will hit. Because there's just no other way for humanity to go. I mean, Joe was talking to me the other day about how, it talks about many, many times when it mentions the rapture in Revelation, throughout Revelations, it'll talk about how, in the Bible, how, one person will be sleeping and his brother will be sleeping beside him, and one man will be taken and the other will be left. And I think that this is more of a physical thing than we understand it to be in the Bible. And Joe and I, of course, are alluding to FEMA camps and, the TSA being on the streets and, the American brown shirts is what this is. And, just like how